Hello, everyone, and welcome to our event tonight, How to Build a Web3 Communication Application. And this is a collaborative event together between EkoLance and Push Protocol. So we'll be showcasing how to build a Web3 communication application using Push Protocol. And for this purposes, we have prepared some slides. This will be a live coding session. But of course, before we start, I would like to say a few words about who we are at EkoLance, what we do. And then, of course, I will introduce the team behind EkoLance and also the trainer for tonight. And then we'll be jumping into the coding session. So we'll start about a few words about EkoLance, and then we're going to dive into the topic of building a communication application with Push Protocol. All right, so today's workshop will be led by myself. I am Maria. I am the founder and CEO of EkoLance, and my colleague Donatus, who is our developer relationship manager, and also of course, a developer, Web3 developer, experience building Web3 applications. So what do we do at EkoLance? We are an educational and upskilling talent platform for Web3 professionals. We organize training sessions like this one today to upskill professionals in the Web3 space and offer them information and education about all kinds of technology topics in the Web3 space. We have trained more than 10,000 professionals since our inception in 2022. And we also organize hackathons and developer challenges where we support developers and builders to actually build applications. And we have built more than 450 applications through the hackathons that we have organized. We work with some of the leading blockchain companies. Push Protocol is one of them, but we have worked also with Celo, with Gnosis Chain, with Stellar, Solana, and with these companies to educate about their technology and also to organize hackathons with them so the builders can actually start applying their skills and build real-world applications. We also provide job opportunities through our network of corporate clients. That means that if we have a corporate client who has a job opening or any project within their ecosystem that has a job opening, we also post about any jobs in the ecosystem and also have a newsletter that sends job openings to all our subscribers. All right. So let's dive into the topic of the global telecommunication market and actually why is this industry interesting for us as builders? Why should we be building communication applications? So the global telecommunications market has an annual spending on services of around $1.6 trillion, which is substantial, right? But there are a few issues and thus opportunities in the telecommunication industry. One of them is that we have centralized communication platforms. So most telecommunication companies have centralized servers. And this leads to privacy risks, data breaches, and so on. We have heard of many, right? And Web3 technology offers a solution for that with decentralization. The lack of interoperability. So traditional platforms operate in silos, which makes them different or which makes it difficult to integrate across different platforms. And also user data control and privacy concerns, right? So users they give their data to telecommunication companies, but they do not really have control of their data. They do not know what's happening with their data, and they do not really own their data when they give it to telecommunication companies. And Web3 technology offers a solution for that. And with push protocol, there are many upgrades we can do to telecom or to communication applications, or we can build communication applications which are the next level of the next level of user protection, user experience, and offer great opportunities for us as users that traditional or centralized telecommunication or communication applications do not offer. So, without further ado, I would like to present our trainer for tonight. He will be giving the live coding session showing how to build a telecommunication app or communication app using push protocol. And guys, please, if you are part of this training, if you're watching this training, please join our forum and chat, our push chat, where you can ask questions, and you will also receive a guide, which is like a step-by-step guide for this training session and workshop, how to exactly build a communication application with push protocol. I will be sharing here in the comments, I will be sharing the link a little bit later on. But now I'll give the word to Donatus to present himself and to start the coding session. And he'll be speaking also a little bit about push protocol, why we're building on push protocol, and what features push protocol offers to us. Thank you. And Donatus, welcome. All right, guys, I think Donatus disappeared in the moment when he had to speak, but I'm sure that he's going to join us shortly. All right, so again, I will share the link for our push chat where you can ask questions. We have actually built this chat with the exact technology that we'll be showing tonight. So it will be really great if you want to explore what exactly push protocol offers and what features it offers to join the push chat. And of course, for you, it's important if you want to ask questions or have access to the guides that we're offering, opportunity to get the guide by joining the chat. And I'm going to post the link to the chat here. Just posted it. Okay, Donatus is back. And let's start.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for the opportunity, and also special shout out to everyone that is joining us live on this call. My name is Donato Springs. I'm a blockchain developer. I've been building on the blockchain for the past 4 years. I've led cross-functional team. I've won several prizes for hackathons from across different chain, and I'm going to be bringing that experience to this workshop to briefly walk you through what we are going to be doing. Right. So, without further ado, let's go to the main subject of the day, which is push protocol. And just like Maria have mentioned, the reason why we're holding this workshop is because of the massive market opportunity that the communication industry offers to developers. Because an industry that spends 1.6 trillion yearly on services is already a paying market for developers to build exciting product and take advantage of this already purchasing audience, right? And push protocol helps you achieve that in the sense that they offer you an infrastructure that you can use to build whatever use case application, which we are going to be sharing with you later on in this call, right? So push is a Web3 communication protocol that allows any dApp to communicate in an open and gasless manner. So push supports different chain. Like your users don't even need to know the chain they are on, right? To be able to use push. So you can build a total chain agnostic platform. And push gives you the features that you can quickly start using in your application. So they have the push notification, the push chat, which we use primarily to build the Tech Fiesta forum, where some of you, where you are going to be engaging and where you're going to be asking your questions while you're building, where you are going to be interacting with you, right? So we have the push videos and also the push chat. Now, the push notification is similar to your notification services. The way you sign up for newsletters, the way you sign up for several notifications. So you can decide to build a push or notification, a notification service that people can subscribe to be able to get updates from you, right? So the same thing applies to the push videos, your normal video calls, and your push spaces. You're conversant with Twitter spaces, Telegram spaces, WhatsApp spaces. You can build your own spaces on your Web3 project using push, and you can get this integration done in less than 10 minutes because the push infrastructure makes everything super easy for you, right? So now let me walk you through some of the use cases that you can build, right? And I'm also going to invite Maria to talk also use cases and how it impacts in real life, right? So the first real world use case that I want to talk to you about is, like I said earlier on, you can build a notification tracker. So you can use push to build a dApp where users can subscribe to get real-time notification updates. Now, if I want to build a product in this particular niche, what I will do, I will build a notification service, a platform where people, projects, communities can come and create their own notification server, similar to your Discord server, but this time around, a notification server that their community members, that their audience, their customers can join in and push enable. Another thing you can build is a messaging application, similar to what we did with the Tech Fiesta forum, right? We built a chat application, a forum application where we hang out with you virtually, where you tell us what you're going through, where you ask your questions, where we share resources with you, where we guide you on what you're building, right? So this is a messaging application, and there are a lot of features that push offer that you can integrate, you can update, you can accept, you can even make your application a token gated application using push, right? So you can decide to token gate your server, your channel, your chat, your calls. Everything can be done in a decentralized manner. And I'm going to invite Maria to briefly talk about how existing applications like your Slack and your Zoom, how they can enhance their product offering simply by integrating push protocol. Maria?
Yes, thank you, Donatus. So we have prepared for you a couple of examples to make it more practical, so you can imagine how push protocol can actually enhance existing communication applications. So, for example, a lot of companies use Slack as a for corporate communication. In the beginning of EkoLance, we have actually also done that. The problem with Slack is that it has a centralized server, right? So this server stores and transmits messages, which makes it more vulnerable to data breaches and privacy breaches. By integrating push protocol, this could be eliminated because push protocol actually offers decentralized messaging features. Another example could be Zoom, right? What we had as a problem at EkoLance, we do a lot of this workshops, a lot of educational sessions, which we in the past hosted on Zoom. But what has happened to us is that we were, I would call it, hacked several times, where we had people who are actually not part of the professionals learning with us coming to the Zoom call, somehow figuring out the link to the Zoom call, coming in anonymously, right? And starting to, talk bullshit, basically, right? That has nothing to do with what we're training and sabotaging the call. So then we decided not to use Zoom anymore. But a way for Zoom to enhance its services, so we can go back to Zoom, is actually integrate push protocol in a way that people can actually log in with a wallet, right? Instead of just an email, with a wallet that has the feature to actually um, identify people, or go for people to go through some kind of a KYC process and join with their wallet on Zoom. So our Zoom calls cannot be actually hacked by people who are not invited to the Zoom call. So that could be really enhanced in the Zoom services with something like this using push protocol. So these are some like practical examples how we can use push protocol in today's communication apps that we use. But this session is with the purpose for you to learn how to now build an application. So I'm going to give it back to Donatos, and we can kick off the actual coding session.
All right, thank you, Maria. So guys, like Maria just mentioned, we are going to be kicking off the coding session. Right along the line, I'm going to show you what were built. Probably I will just show you what we built before we dive deep into the app. So on the comment, you're going to see a link that leads you to the forum where you can join to ask your question. There you will also get details about what you're trying to build. You can get resources, and also everything we're going to be talking about in this workshop. We've prepared a guide for you to receive, and the guide will help you in your journey, right? So to access the guide, you have to join the channel, you have to join the forum, you have to participate, introduce yourself, tell us where you're joining from, tell us what you're building, how excited did also tell us how you felt about this workshop, right? And we'll pick it up from there. So let me quickly briefly share with you the how the page looks like. Okay, so this is, I hope you can see my screen. So this forum app, so when you get to the forum app, all you have to do is just to connect your wallet. When you connect your wallet, it will show you the groups which is currently loading up, and you can join any group that resonates to you. You can join the Hangouts group where you tell us about the exciting things you're building, or you can join the or you can just introduce yourself, basically hangout. So this is like a virtual hangout for us. So without further ado, so let me now share my screen so we can actually start the main coding session. Who's excited? Okay, so let me share my code base. Yeah. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, Donatos,
Can you
we
see my
can see your
screen?
screen. Yes, it's on. Your screen is there. Yes.
Okay. So guys, I'm now on my code editor. So any questions you have along the line, please drop it on the comments. Maria will draw my attention to all of them at the end of the session. And also remember that just follow along, learn what you're doing, understand the concepts, and just notify us in the forum, and we'll give you a guide, the step-by-step process of everything we did, the code base and everything. So let us get started. So the first thing you have to do when you're trying to work with push protocol is first of all to install the push protocol. And to install that, we're going to use your normal npm install. So npm install. So you will install the push protocol API. Okay. So this is how you install it, but I'm not going to go ahead and install it since it's already installed on my PC. So after the installation is done, the next thing you have to start doing is start importing the dependencies that you want to use for your application. Remember, I told you in this workshop, we're going to be focusing mainly on the push chart, and I will be showing you exactly how we were able to create the forum that you are currently interacting with, right? So also the code base is entirely open source. So you can take the code base and maybe add your own features, modify it, customize it to suit your own need. There are a lot of things you can still do with the push library, and we're going to all, if you get the guide, the library and the documentation of what is possible with push are all listed there. But for the purpose of this workshop, we're going to narrow it down to making you understand how to build a messaging application to communicate, either one-to-one communication or one-to-many communication, right? So let's go ahead and import our dependencies so you can follow along if you're using your VS Code. All right. So we have the push API. So the push API is the first thing we install, and we can also install the constants, right? So the next thing we're going to import, since we are using the this is a simple JavaScript application. So I'm going to be using ethers, right? But in your own, if you're building a React or a React application, you have to use like this is where you create your connect wallet either with rainbow kits, so you can be able to get signers from there, right? So but for the purpose of this workshop, I'm going to be using ethers because I'm going to be generating random wallets that I'm going to be testing with. But in your is the ideal thing in your own application would be to create with your own personal wallets, right? So I'm going to ethers is a library that helps you connect to EVM blockchains. So I'm going to import ethers. Okay. So now these are the two main libraries that we're going to be using for this workshop. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to create a signer. So this is a signer is simply means that this is the wallet that is going to be signing transactions on our behalf, right? So in real world, in just like in the forum application that we built, the signer is the user trying to use the application. And we're able to generate the signer by before you even do anything on the forum, we ask you to connect your wallet. So when you connect your wallet, we are able to generate a signer from your wallet that is connected, right? And because push is a Web3 protocol, every call, every write instruction you make to the blockchain, you have to sign it. So that is why we need the signer. So for us to get the random signer that we're going to be using for this workshop, we're going to call it signer. We're going to be getting it from ethers.wallet. Okay, dot create random. We're creating a random wallet, a random signer. Now, the next thing, now we have our signer. We have the wallet that is going to be initiating the transactions on our behalf. So then the next thing we want to do is we're going to initialize the push API. So we're going to initialize you as a user. For example, when you try to use applications like Slack or your Facebook or your Twitter, they ask you to register or log in, right? So initialize is sort of asking you to register. Then reinitialize is asking you to log in, right? So also when you get the guide, all these are properly documented, and also push protocol has a well documented technical guide. The documentation is well documented, and it shows you all these dependencies, all these options, and what is possible. So we are going to call this admin. So this is the admin, and we're going to say await push API. Okay, push API dot initialize. So what are we initializing? Right? So what are we initializing? We're initializing the signer. So we're saying the signer, this wallet address we created here, is the signer we want to sign all transaction. It is the address, is the user is making all the requests. We are going to env the constant.env.staging. Now we are using staging because we're in development, but when you're ready to launch, this stage to production. Okay, so this is if this is a live product, so you can change it to production. This is short for production. So because of we're testing, so we're leaving it at staging, right? So this is like a test playground for us. So right now we have initialized our user. So let us go ahead and console log and see what this admin that we just created looks like. So we're going to do console.log admin, and we're going to run it. So we're going to give our JavaScript program a little bit of time to run. So while it's running, let me quickly walk you through over what we did here. So here is the part where we initialize the API. Because for us to start, whether it's sending messages, creating groups, creating channels, we have to first of all initialize push, right? So we're telling our program, I want to do this from the push API. That is what we first did here. So we're now console logging the admin that we just created, and you can see the details, right? So you can see the detail of the admin that we just created. Is a lot of information. But so you can see the accounts. So you can see the environment for it. So you can see the chain wise, the chain that we're using to create. And so if you go down, sorry. So if you go down, you're going to see, a lot of information, but you will see the signer, you will see the guest mode, you see the account. Okay, so basically that is the information we just created. But let us go ahead. Let me comment this out. So let's fetch the information from this admin that we've created, right? So I'm going to do two things. First of all, I'm going to fetch the information. I'm going to console log admin info. Okay, admin info. This is where we're getting the information of the admin. So, and I'm going to console log it. Let's see how our admin info looks like. Okay, so let's see how our admin looks like. First of all, let me clear the terminal and we run the Node.js again. So let's see the information about this admin that we just created. Let's see like the wallet address, the details about this admin. So voila, it is here. So let me show you. So you can see this is the detail about this admin that we just created, right? So you can see the DID. This is the push ID for this particular user. You can see the wallet connected, right? So you can see the encrypted this is the encrypted private key. Like, we generated a random wallet, so this is the private key for the random wallet. So assuming you're using your own wallet, you'll probably see your own. So this is the verification proof. You can see messages sent 0. This is the new wallet. So you can see the profile, no profile, no description, um, dummy image data. So you can basically see blocked user list. So you can see details about this user we just created. Like, okay, so this is like a profile detail. Now, if you want to narrow it down and get the exact profile detail, right? So what we are going to do, let's fetch this user that we just created. Let's fetch this user's profile. And to do that, we're going to say console. Okay, first of all, let's get it, and let's say admin profile. Admin profile will be await. Where are we getting it from? Admin.profile.info. Okay, and let us console log it and see what we will get. Admin profile. Okay, so let's again. So you can see currently Let me clear the console log. So we're trying to now fetch the admin profile. Let us see what the admin this address we generated here, this random signer. We're going to see the profile, the default profile that it comes with. And yours, as you're seeing here, you can see is null. So there is no name, there is no description, there's no picture. Everything is null because this is a random user. And it makes sense because when you log into a new account, there's no record of you that exists on chain. So for us to update this thing so it stops showing null and starts showing the actual name, let us use push also has a feature, um, a dependency that we can call, and also we update the profile of this user from null to we can give it a name. So let us do update admin profile. Okay, we're going to use our weight admin dot profile dot update. So now if you're looking at this option, you can see that it's this parameter, this update function, it takes a parameter called options, and in that options it also takes a parameter name, which is a string, description, picture. So this is the information that we can update. So let's go ahead right now and update the name. Okay, let's say the name, we want to call it EkoLance, right? In your own, you can call it whatever you want. We can say, hold on. Okay, we can say description would be onboarding 3 developers to, then the next thing is the picture. So this is where we basically put in the URL of the image you want to use, like your image. So if this is your application, so this is where you have to probably upload the image, or however you're handling the data in your application. So you just passing the image URL here. Okay, so you can build a function in your application where you upload the file to Cloudinary or upload it to IPFX and get the image CCD, convert it to URL, and then pass it into display. So I'm going to just use this dummy URL. So if we can see, we are getting an error. So let's know where the error is coming from. Okay, we have to wrap this in an object. Remember, what we have here is supposed to be in an object. Okay, so it's good that these errors happen while we're on this live coding session, so we can immediately learn and know where the error is coming from. So right now we've updated our profile from null. So let's see what we are going to get. So first of all, I'm going to console log the admin profile here. Okay, I'm going to console log the admin profile here, and I'm also going to console log the updated profile so we can compare the both and see exactly what happened. Okay, so let's go back and run the script. So we'll see the difference in real time. So in the current forum application that we have, we didn't actually integrate this feature yet, right? So we didn't add the option for users to be able to profile and the rest of it. So that is why I told you you can fork our repo on the forum, and you can add these custom features. You can share amazing things that you're building. So you can see here the name is null, the description is null. This is the dummy image URL. So after we've updated, you can see the name has changed to EkoLance. The description is still null because there was a mistake here, and I'm going to look. You can see the group image has been updated. So So we're getting the description now because we passed in description instead of DESC. So the short form is DXC, right? So like I said, it's a good thing this slight errors are happening while in this chart in this class, so we can easily learn and make the changes immediately. So I was saying, so the name is going to change from this profile to this profile detail, and you can do this to just the same way you have users on X, on Slack, on Facebook, on Instagram can update their profile. So you can take the current Tech Fiesta forum, pull the code, add your modification so that users can be able to update their profiles. Okay, so you can see now the node, the description, the picture. You can see in the updated, the name, the description has been updated, the picture has been updated, and everything else. Right. So now we've done with the basis. Okay. So we're going to now move into the application side of things, how we are able to achieve this. I hope you're seeing my screen. So this is the push. This is the currently the forum app. So after you've connected your wallet, this is what you're going to see, and this is the options. This is where you can join any group. So once you join this group, conversations start. So this is where you introduce yourself. This is where you let us know the issues you're having while you're building your application. This is where you also indicate interest that you want to get the guide. So this is where you can join a conversation already going on. So let me break down what we did here. First of all, when you load on this page, when you connect your wallet, it asks you to sign a transaction, and that is push trying to initialize. So after push has initialized, it's now going to show you the groups that you can join. Okay, so what we're using to display these groups available here is their chat ID. Because when you create a group, it generates a chat ID for you. So the chat ID is what we're displaying here. So when we want to view a group, when you click on this view after you've joined, you have to first of all join the group. So when you join the group, and I'm going to be showing you the function how to join the group. When you join the group, you can see messages from other group members. You can join the conversation, and it's an amazing experience. I love you to check it out. Okay, go ahead and check it out. So let us continue on what we are building. So now to achieve what I just showed you, the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a group chat. So group chat is simply just like your Telegram group chat, your WhatsApp group chat, your Facebook groups, right? So you can build those similar applications on the Web3 space, or integrate them in your existing Web3 project using push protocol. And for you to do that, we are going to be calling another push function, and we're going to call it create. Well, let's say EkoLance. Let's call this group EkoLance Hangouts. Let's call it EkoLance Hangouts. Okay, let's call it EkoLance Hangouts Forum. Yeah. So we're going to say await admin right dot chat dot group, okay, dot create. What are we creating? We are creating a group. So if you look in this create function, the create function takes two parameters: the name of the group you want to create and the options, right? So let us go ahead and give it. So the name of this group is the name of the name of the group we're creating is what? Let's call it EkoLance Hangout Forum. Okay. What will be the description? The description will be what? What do we call what? I think we're making a mistake. Sorry. Yes. So first of all, we call it the name, right? We now pass in the options. So what do we call What do we call the description of the group? Let's call it a place for Web3 enthusiasts and developers. Okay, so this is also where we are going to add the image URL, the same thing as what we did here. Okay, and so let me comment out this so we can know, so we won't have a bunch of consoles that will confuse us. So now we've created the group. So let's console log and see what the group actually looks like, guys. So console log this our EkoLance Hangouts forum. Okay. So it's going to create this group and it's going to generate a unique identifier for this group. Okay. And this unique identifier is how we are going to access this group. So we are creating a normal group. So it's not a token gated group. It's not a group where people have to pay to enter. It's not a group where we're not adding any addresses beforehand. Okay. So but if there are list of addresses that you want to add, we're going to cover how you can add those addresses as you're creating the group, just like your WhatsApp chat or your WhatsApp group. When you want to create a WhatsApp group, it tells you to add like 3 persons before you can create the group. Okay. But so this is an open group. It's not so you can see the group we just created. Okay. So you can see the wallet that just created this group, which is the wallet we created. So you can see, because I'm the one that created this wallet, this group, I am the admin, right? So if you as another user joins this group, this is admin will be forced because it's not you. So you can see the group we just created, there is no pending members because we didn't initialize the group with existing members. So you can see the contract. So you can see the number of ERC20 tokens 0 because this group is not token gated. For example, if we say that only holders of push token or only holders of USDC token can enter this group, this is where we set the number of USDCs or number of token they must hold in their connecting wallet before they can access this group. So if we can even say we want only holders of XYZ NFT, only holders of the board ape NFT, they are the ones we want them to be in this group. So this is where we put in the contract address of the NFT and the number of NFT they have to hold, right? But like I said, this is an open group. This is like a simple walkthrough. So you can see the group image, the description, and everything we just created. The group is a public group, so you can see this is the chat ID. So I'm going to copy this, right? Because we're using it now in our application. But if this is a React app, you need to find a way to store the chat ID that is being generated for every group created. So I'm going to save our chat ID. I'm going to save our chat ID in a variable. Okay, this is the chat ID that we just created for this group. Okay, so in your application, you have to find a way to store your chat ID. So in the techfiesta forum application,
Guys, Donatus dropped out. I guess his internet connection is gone, but he's gonna join in a second. Yes, he's already back. All right, so I'm turning his camera on again.
sorry.
Yes, I said you're back, so you can continue.
Okay, so I'm saying that for you to make any modification on the group you just created, or even for people to join, you have to use the chat ID, right? So this is why you have to store this somewhere in your application so you can easily use it. So we are going to go ahead and let's say we want to display in our application, we want to be displaying the information about our group. Just like when you create a Facebook group, it displays the name of the group, the image, and the description of the group. So whatever you're building, so you can use the function, the fetch group info function. And for us to do that, we're going to just call this fetch group info, and we're going to do await. So we are passing in the chat ID. So we want to fetch information of this group we just created. So we can use it anywhere in our application. So we're going to console log. Let's see what returns. Console.log fetch info, and let us run it and see what happens. So it's going to go ahead and fetch the information about this group. And also you can decide to update. I think while our file is running, so you can call await admin dot chat dot group. I think they should have update, but let's check dot update. So you can see the update, right? So you can update, you can actually update. So when you update, you are first of all you're going to pass in the chat ID, and you're going to now pass in the queries of what you want to update. Do you want to update the description? So you can see how it works. Okay, that's if you want to update so you can see the details. This is the information of the group that we just created. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that everything is working. So the next thing after that one is done, we are going to go ahead and integrate the options to be joining the group. This group, as we can see, the group has no user. So we want people to join, just like to send invites to addresses. And then there are two ways to activate this in your application. First of all, you can decide to add their wallet addresses, or you can decide to give them an option for them to click and join the group by themselves. And that is what we are going to go ahead and do now. So let's create function join EkoLance. Let's call this join EkoLance. Join EkoLance Hangout Forum. Okay, so let me clear it. So we have admin dot what chat. So if you notice something similar, the protocol is actually very easy to use. So just signify what you're trying to do. So you can see we are working on group chat. So as you can see now, we're working on group chat and we are calling from the group function. So you can see join. So if you want to join, it's going to ask you, what is the target? Where do you want to join? And we're saying we want to join this group that has this chat ID we just created. That is the group we want to join. Okay, and once you join this group, you can be able to see all the information that exists on that group. Okay, so this is why when you go to the techfiesta forum and you click on that join group, it now gives you the option to be able to see all the messages in the group, and it also gives you the options to send your own messages. So after you've joined the group, you can decide to leave the group, right? It's not by force. Okay, so to leave the group, you also push also has another function that is called, let's call this leave EkoLance Hangout Forum. So you can decide to add in your application when people want to leave the room, when people want to leave chat, they leave the WhatsApp chat, leave the group chat. This is how they do it, right? WhatsApp has it, every group has it. So this is how you're going to integrate it in your own Web3 application. And you can also do the console log to see what is happening if you want to. Okay, but it's straightforward, so I'm not going to run it. But that is basically how we are using it. So also again, we are not currently we're not integrating this live chat in our forum app. So but this is something you can actually I look forward to seeing the amazing modifications that you will do. So the next important thing that I
Donatos, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there is this one question in the chat that I think we should address now. Is the chat ID
okay.
similar to admin credentials?
No, the chat ID, just like the chat ID is, yeah, you can call it a sort of admin credential, but it's different. The chat ID is just basically an identifier that tells push, okay, this is the chat, this is the group chat I'm referring to, because on every day there are probably over thousands of group chats that have been created on push. So the chat ID is telling push this is the identify, this is like a unique identifier to this group. So if you create a new group chat, it's going to have a new group chat ID. Just it's like an ID, an identifier. So for every modification you want to make on the group you created, you have to provide the identifier. So it's a sort of credential to validate the group that you just created. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that answered the question, Maria.
Yes, I hope so too, but we can proceed. If there are any questions, please ask them in the push chat. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. We can take it up from there. You can take it up from there. So we've now shown the option to create how we initialized our create group, the group chat, how to join, how to leave group, how to update the group chat, and the rest of it. So the next thing I want to show you is how to send messages. So now you've joined this particular group chat, right? So on the Tech Fiesta forum, you've joined the group chat, right? So you are sending messages. So let me now show you the actual code that is working behind the scene. And it's a very simple code. And it's called send message to the EkoLance forum. And we're going to call await. We are calling the admin chat dot group message dot group dot what send message. So you can see the send message. It actually takes two parameters. So we're just going to specify the the group where we want to send the message, and then the message that we want to send. So the group where we want to send the message is the chat ID, right? So like I said, the chat ID is like a group's identifier. So behind the scene, when you're creating a groups on Facebook, WhatsApp, every group that you create on the back end, it generates an ID that the backend server uses to track whatever is happening on each of the groups, right? So that's why when you try to when you log out and log back in and you click on a group, so it uses that group's ID. I'm talking about your normal. It uses that your normal group ID to fetch the information that you're seeking for from the database, right? So that is what happens behind the scene. So I'm now showing you how what happens behind it. I'm showing you how it happens in real time in the blockchain. So we are also using this your chat ID to query the blockchain on the back end to get information related to your group. Okay, so that is how the blockchain keeps everything organized, and that is how push keeps everything organized. So here you can write your message. Hi, my name is Donatus, and whatever, and I am a Web3 developer. Okay, so this is how you send a message. Now let me console log this message that we just sent, and also let me console log the group, this group info. You see the first group info that we created before? Let me console log it. Let me console log it here, and also let me console log it here, so we can see what the changes that will occur. So we can ensure that our code is actually doing what we want it to do. Okay, so what we are basically doing, the reason I wanted to console log it again here is, here we fetch the info, and the info here, it will be showing that 0 messages, right? Because there is no message sent here. So right here, we've sent the message. We're getting an error. Send message is not a function. Okay. Um, hold on. Okay, hold on. While I sort it out, let me walk you through what we have. Let me walk you through what we have. So there is the send message is throwing an error. So let me open, hold on. Let us open the push. Okay. I want to open up and show you something. Okay. So I'm trying to open up the push library. So the npm library. So I will show you how to, let's ensure that we are getting the right. So you can see how to install and everything. So you can see, I told you that the documentation, the npm documentation is amazing. So what we're looking for is we're looking for the send message. Okay, this is the send message. So let's click on the send message and see where it takes us to. So this is the send message. So okay, the actual send. Okay. So I've seen where, can you see where our problem is coming from? Okay, so it's actually going to be chat.send. Okay, so that's why these little errors that creep up, this is how you actually solve them. So let's try again. So it's actually, so instead of chat.group.send message, is actually chat.send, right? So because this is also the function where that you can also use to send one-to-one messages. I think I messages and one-to-many messages. Okay, so one-to-one messages means I can send a message to Maria, like your private DM. That's
Hello, guys. I think Donato's dropped out again. I guess it's the internet connection. But I want to use the time that he's gone in order to promote something super exciting that we have prepared for you. Actually, he's back, but I'm still going to show it to you. And this is the step-by-step guide that we have created. And we will share this guide in our forum before the end of the session. So in this guide, you can see all the commands that Donatos is showing. And you can, as it says, a step-by-step guide, right? You can like do everything that Donatos is doing step by step in your free time, in your own time, to create your communication application. All right, now I'm gonna give Donatos back the word.
yeah. So just like Maria have said, everything we're doing. So I just need you to understand what is happening behind the scene on the Tech Fiesta Forum application. So whatever you see me doing is listed out in the guide, And if you have any question, you can take it up also. We can take it up also in the forum after this workshop, right? So while this is running, so let's assume I want to send Maria a DM on push with push protocol. So the function to do that is similar to the function to send one to many. So I will write await admin dot chat dot send, and this is where I put in Maria's number. Hold on. This is where I put in Maria's number, and this is where I put in the message I want to send to Maria. Okay, this is why I put in the message I want to send to Maria. Okay, so let's go ahead again and inspect and see what is happening. True. Okay. Type on string. Recipient string message. Okay, we have to add so we have to add this. This is how it's supposed to be. Okay, so this is also how it's supposed to be. Yep. Okay, so let me show you guys. So you can see, okay, so you can see this is how to send the message. This is the address you want to send the message. You have to, in the object, so you have to, the content will be the message you're sending, and the type of text you have to specify. So let us modify our code. That is why we're getting that error. This is why you have to also try to work also always with your documentation. So this is the content that we're sending, and this is the type. The type is the type is text. Yep. Let's ensure everything is in order. The text is capital T. Everything should work just fine. Let's copy this. Let's replace this here. And let's say, hi, my name is Maria, the founder of EkoLance. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. I'm just going to comment this out, but that's basically how the code will work. So everything should work just fine. We should be able to get rid of those errors, right? So while it's loading up, so this is the push documentation. This is where you can see what we are doing here. This is the option to send message. So Alice can send a message to Bob. So Donatus can send a message to Maria, or Donatus can send a message to the EkoLance Hangout forum. All right, so you can see how it happens. So I suggest if you're building anything, try to make yourself familiar with these dependencies, these functions, and all this is the documentation is properly outlined in the. We're getting error 404. I think this error 404 means bad request with network. Okay, error 404. Yeah. So the reason why we're getting this error is because I'm trying to send a message. I'm trying to send a message to the group, and I am the one. So I cannot send a message to myself. So that's probably why I'm getting this error. Okay? So that's why I'm getting this error. But if you're so I'm the group creator, so I'm trying to send a message with a signer. So it's like it's conflicting. So that's why we're getting this bad request. But your own application is supposed to work perfectly, right? You're not supposed to encounter this issue. So that's the exact same thing that we did for the the Tech Fiesta forum. Okay. So, but if you have any questions regarding this, send me a message on the forum, and we'll take it up from there. So let me quickly round up. The next thing we want to do is to add, when you want to add people to the group, it's very simple. So let's call this remove, let's say remove from group. Let's say remove from group, and we're going to use await user, sorry, admin dot chat dot group dot, can you see the options? So we're going to use the remove. So when you say remove, you also again provide the chat ID. Yeah, so you are telling push, I want to remove XYZ from this particular group. Then this is where you now specify who do you want to remove. I want to remove, for example, the role of the person you want to remove. The person is member. You can even remove admins. And hold on. So I'm removing an admin. The account. So this is where you also specify the accounts you want to remove. So you can just add the wallet address in your application. So these are basically functions. These are basically functions. So you just have to um handle the functions on your front end. Then you're sending the details to push to handle every other thing on the back end. So push will be like your backend infrastructure. Okay? Hope it makes sense. So the last thing I want us to do is, let's try, I showed you this thing before briefly. Let us try to update our group. Remember our group is called EkoLance Hangouts, right? So let's change it to three builders. Okay, and see. So let's console log this, the fetch group info, and let's console log. Let's take out this, and let's console log the updated group. Let's run it. So you can see the original group that we created, the name we gave it was EkoLance Hangout Forum, a place where for Web3 enthusiasts and developers, and this is the URL we gave it, right? So right here, we're trying to update the group so to Web3 builders, and so let's see whether it worked. So in the first console log, which is this one here, we are getting the group. So we're getting the group. You can see we're getting the group, the Hangout forum. But we're getting API. We're getting API call failed. So update group. This is where we update group. Chat.id options. The options is name. Okay. This should be DESC. Okay, DESC and image. Every other thing should work just fine. So guys, so I think this L500 is coming from push. It's coming from push. Okay, but so this is everything seems to be in order. Okay, so let me quickly go through your questions and see what and see if there is any question for for me.
Yes, we have one more question. Could you please explain the signer's functionality?
Okay, so the signer simply means when you connect your wallet, right, to an application, or um when you want to perform a transaction on the blockchain. So your signer is it happens behind the scene. So when you connect your wallet address has a signer that is attached. So that signer is I'm trying to get the right word. The signer is like when you what tells the blockchain that you own an account is you have the private key, right? So when you want to sign a transaction on the blockchain, you have to provide your signer. So your signer is what gives authority that this wallet address actually belongs to you. Okay. So what happens here is that when you connect your wallet, behind the scene, View or Ethers generates a signer for that wallet address. So when you want to send a transaction over to the blockchain, you have to sign it. So what the actual tool signing those transactions on your behalf is what we call the signer. So the signer is just the option for you, just like when you want to send a document, when you go to the bank, you want to make a transaction, you want to withdraw, they will ask you to sign. So the signer is a tool in your wallet that allows you to sign transaction that says that authenticates a transaction on your behalf. So for you to make any contract call, for you to make any blockchain, any call, any write command to the blockchain, you have to authenticate that this is actually what you want. And it's a sort of security in the sense that I can't authorize a transaction that you did not permit. That is the only way. The only way someone can steal your authentication is when they hack your private key, right? So this signer is basically what it does is to authenticate your transaction. That's basically the role of the signer. And so whenever you connect your wallet to an application, if the wallet is using either Ethers or WAGMI or View, they generate a signer for that wallet that is connected and you sign it. Does that make sense?
All right, yes, I hope it does. So, guys, we
So
just,
if you have any more questions, so
yeah.
if you have any more question as regarding to the sign, okay, I've seen your response, so it makes sense. So if you have any more questions, right? So just send it to us on the forum chat, so we can take it up from there. If you're having issues with your code, send it or drop it also on the forum. We'd love to see what you're building. We'd love to help you. We'd love to connect with you, and we'd love to see the amazing functionalities you're going to add to your project. Okay. So thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We just also shared the link to the step-by-step guide in the push chat that we have created for the purposes of this event. So you can download the guide from there. I am going to share the chat again here. Here on the bottom, you can see the URL for the chat where you can download the step-by-step guide. Perfect. And I want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. I would like to encourage you to review this live session again, to review the step by step guide. And if you have any questions regarding this, you can leave them in the chat. This chat will stay there. We'll take your questions and we'll answer them in the next days. So you'll have time, even over the weekend, to rewatch this session. If you have any questions, you can post them in the chat and we'll answer them in the chat. And I encourage you to start building your communication application. And I'm looking forward to seeing applications that will basically be initiated here during this live session. If you decide to build your application, it's going to be great if you share it with us on our social media, on our emails, so we can also share it with our community, also with the push protocol community, and we can also test it. Of course, we're always happy to test any applications. All right, so thank you everyone again for joining, and I wish you a great evening.